It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show tonight.
Hello, it's me, Felix from the future. After having completed this project, you might be wondering how we got here.
Where did that boat go?
I'm gonna let you know right now. Normally our videos, not a lot of profanity and as minimal of camera shaking as we are able to do with our various setups. This video has a lot more swearing, particularly the F word, as well as a lot more shakiness and a lot more shaky time lapses. So if that is going to bother you, you're gonna wanna sit this one out, and I apologize. This was my attempt at a starting from zero craft video. And I am glad that all of you lovely folks told me that that's the kind of content that you would like to see the last time I did a craft video, because I just probably wouldn't have finished this project if I hadn't been filming it. It was hellacious. So enjoy. Thank you for being here. If this is not the kind of content for you, I will probably make something that is crisper and prettier eventually, soon. Enjoy the catastrophe. Welcome to Felix's Silly Craft Corner. My beautiful wife bought me the wrong kind of Shrinky Dink paper. So we are testing this, and also my hope and my dream is to make my kid one of those squishy hair gel Ziploc things themed to his current favorite movie, PONYO. If I say it too loud and he hears me, he will go ballistic. Morgan and I took turns being sick, having like a little stuffy nose and sore throat, and like we were okay, but just like very tired. So over the course of a week, the boy requested every single day, once a day. So he watched a lot of it, and now I think we're up to 2 days right now without having watched Ponyo, and our longest break before that was 3 days without days since seeing Ponyo. So anyway, this is gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be cute. I'm excited. I haven't done Shrinky Dinks in forever. Not since, I think, the height of pandemic quarantine, when I made a charm bracelet that was Animal Crossing characters. That was very cute. So normally I use the rough and ready kind that's like rough on one side, and yeah, I just don't normally use this like completely all the way smooth kind, but I do think this will probably be crisper looking. We got the Shrinky Dink paper so that I can have it at No Kings for folks to make fun Shrinky Dinks at No Kings, and then anyway, it'll be a whole thing. But I've printed out the girl and some things that I found online, and then the sisters, and those are all going to be individual pieces to squish around in this squishy thing. Okay, we have a Ponyo. I'm going to cook her first and see how that goes. God, I love doing Shrinky Dink so much. I kept before this trying to find the kind of plastic that you can use. I could be wrong, so no one quote me on this. The internet said it was number 6 plastic, but sometimes that's what like takeout boxes type stuff will be made out of, or you'll find it in some other form. My preference, obviously, would be to use mostly reclaimed materials as opposed to buying Shrinky Dink paper, but I do a lot of like stuff where I'm really conscious about the materials that I'm using and like reusing stuff instead of buying new, so I don't feel too bad about it, but it is something I think about. Okay. I'll show you. You can see when I cut sort of like against the grain. Hold on. This is something to be aware of when you're doing Shrinky Dinks. Underneath my finger here, it like rips a tiny bit sometimes. You can see this like light white part right here on this inner section. That's not a snip that I made. It's like a bend. Anyway, and then you can also see on her cheeks, I used the wrong kind of marker here and here, so I don't actually know what that's gonna do. She might just have little freckles, which could be cute also. Also, she looks goth from her eyeliner Sharpie. We'll see how this goes. My best advice with Shrinky Dinks is that if it looks like it's going horribly, just wait. Do not mess with it until it's fixed. If it's not flat, it's not done yet. Curling, she's curling. Really cannot see with Okay, it's actually incredibly difficult to follow your own advice. This is how she's looking. This is the big size. This is the little one. I will always say it's best, like this is about as big smaller than the palm of your hand is about as big as I would say you should start with a Shrinky Dink project. Once you go bigger, it's possible for them to get more unwieldy and have the edges sort of like stick together, and you have to use a fork to do surgery. And as I was like, oh, like don't ever take it out early and try to like squash it down flat, that's exactly what I did with this one. Because of the shape that she is and the way that she was doing her like curling, I don't like the weight of her little arms was not gonna like push back down. I think that if she had curled this way instead, then the top and bottom would have like flattened back out. But so she did need a teeny tiny bit of help, although it would have been okay if she had been slightly curly. So in general, when they're about this thick, that is when they're done cooking. But it's hard because it's like the last bit is always the part that takes the longest. So here she is, little Ponyo. She's not perfect. I got some of the orange from the hair and like the face. And then I tried to sort of just like evenly distribute it as much as I could. And you can see I missed a part on her like lower chin over here. I don't think my baby's gonna care. But it was a good reminder that I should be using the lightest colors first. Always, yes. And I don't ever do the outline first because you will just, it'll get smeared with all of your other alcohol markers and become a problem. But she's cute. Okay, this is who we've got, and I'm probably going to do each of these one at a time. The jellyfish, the fish, and the boat, and then the sisters I'll probably do all at once. Here's the girlies. You can see all of them are fine except for the jellyfish. It got cooked upside down, and so a little bit of the stuff came off. I'm comfortable with that. The tiny Ponyo sisters are my favorite. They're so small. But now I'm going to put them in a Ziploc bag with hair gel and see how that goes. And then I have like 18 other projects to do, so I will come back to this at a later date. But I would like to see how they do in the hair gel medium term, because if they bleed, that's something I want to know. God, should I scoop with something? Smells like boy. I have no tool I can scoop with, no scooping tool available to me. Yeah. Okay. This is so scary. Okay. I think we want all the air out of it as much as possible. Although some bubbles are okay. There's bubbles in water, you know. Honestly, I got the cheapest gel at the Winco. Maybe it won't be good for this, but... Oh, okay. No, I mean... Probably more gel in it. Once it's actually gonna be in there. Oh. Immediately taking off the colors. Damn. Okay. Maybe just the red? Interesting. Yeah, it's just like the blues and the... Wow, the red a lot. Yeah, okay. Well, let's see if now we can save these guys. Why didn't I just do one? This is what I was afraid of happening, and yet I was so certain it wouldn't happen that I was like, we don't need to test it. Fuck. All right, well, give me just a moment. It said it was alcohol-free hair gel. Oh, God. Oh, interesting. It's not the Sharpie. It is just the other one. The Sharpie stays. Which is good to know. Damn, yeah, that's... Although they do look kind of fun. Wow. Jeepers. Now we're gonna deal with this. Oh my God. I can't believe I did that, team. This is trash. Oh my God. Okay, little cartoon mermaids, this is how sad the guys ended up. I think it's kind of like a sort of watercolory feel. And I don't mind that they're pinky. That's okay. You cannot imagine how strong the hair gel smells. And then I used a little bit of this finishing cream that I got. It cost like $25, and I have been using it. It's like halfway through, and I've used it a lot. So I don't know. It's milk paint, real milk paint. I don't know if they're actually good, but I do use this incredibly often. But yeah, just for weird projects and things. And then this is my test, guys. I put the stuff on them, let them sit overnight. This is a margarine lid, obviously. And then I've got them in this little container now because I've learned my lesson, and it looks like that is working. So now they're going into the Ziploc. And then I believe what's going to happen, I got a paper making kit from somebody because I have, anyway, this is the hair gel. It doesn't matter about the paper making kit, but it came with this glitter, and glitter is like marker plastic. And so I'm not going to use it for that, but I think in this it would be perfect because it'll all be contained. And then this is like a piece of paper that they made from the paper making kit. And I think it's perfect to be the background for the Ponyo situation, but I'm going to have cardboard behind it to like thicken it up. But I just don't like to like actually use cardboard as like a surface to paint on because it just like it still looks like cardboard. Anyway, I'm gonna do I think the opening scene from the beginning as the background with like the swirlies and like you'll see what I mean. But now I'm putting the guys and the glitter in Ziploc. Here's how they're looking in the Ziploc. I think this is fun. This is working well for me. And then I'm gonna put, I don't know how much of this, but I think the air bubbles kind of add something. I think that's kind of cute. And I think this is a good amount for them to like squish around. I haven't like closed this, but I don't know, maybe a tiny bit more goop in it. Maybe just a smidgen more goop. And then the glitter. Not actually eating through the sealant. It appears that it's at least turning it white. We'll see how that goes. This is a disaster. Two things. One, do not forget to reapply sunscreen at the protest. Two, that was miserable. I'll show you what happened with the Ponyo situation that we have. I put glitter in it. The glitter bled. The sealant didn't actually work. So I've definitely used the wrong kind of markers, and I just need to use Sharpies with the Shrinky Dink part. For like the base portion of this, I'm going to do a trial one that will be for my second cousin, little nephew, a child whose birthday it is today, actually. They'll be going to in a couple of hours. So this will be fun. So this is a practice one, and then we'll do the real one for my baby. These are funky bits and bobs that I found in the bottom of the bins. And so I'm going to pick some of these for his, which I haven't decided the theme for yet. Here's the Ponyo catastrophe. As you can see, it did not go well. The hair color stayed because that's Sharpie, and the outlines, and then I think this blue is Sharpie. Yeah, I think these blues are mostly Sharpie. I don't know if the purple's not. Anyway, the sealant made it worse. I don't know, team. Here's a little Ponyo sister. Very sad. Oh, and then this is so aggressively pink because the sparkles bled into it. So, not ideal. Very sad. Aggressively taped Ziploc bag. Stuff in it that shouldn't bleed because it's all sort of like plastic. If it's Shrinky Dink, it's just plain black. Okay, and then here's my beefy cardboard that I stole from my neighbors nicely while they offered it to me. I'm gonna put this like lighter color underneath so that we can see really good on top. Tape that down. Tape this on top. Get enough packing tape over the edges so that I can hot glue on top of it, and then hot glue felt. And we'll see how that works. Okay, taped on the inside, like one roll, and then packing taped on the edges. I don't know why, it just seemed like the right move. Gonna try to get this sort of centered-ish. That's something. Tape. Okay, what I'm most concerned about with this is accidentally using the hot glue to melt the plastic. So I think what I'm gonna do, because I've already taped the edge down with packing tape, I'm gonna sort of loosely put packing tape over this wider so you can still touch it and squish it there, but so that when I'm gluing the felt down, there's like a couple layers of packing tape in the way. And also the felt will be glued like at the very edge. So we shall see. I love this egg. I think it's so cute. We've got some, there's like gummy bears in here. There's like a seal. Yeah. It's looking pretty cute. Okay, so I actually went ahead and just did a whole layer of packing tape widthwise over the front, and I feel like it works. Like, you can still push through, but I'm less worried about like pinching and breaking, because obviously Ziploc is not like the strongest substance known to man, known to toddler, known to 1-year-old. So yeah, I think this rocks. Okay, here's what we got. It is not perfect. It is functional, and I think it's fun. Back is like this. The hot glue got too hot. That's okay. It is for a child who will not mind. I'm gonna squish the stuff around. Yeah. Horrible news in PONYO land. I tried just the fish because I wanted a blue, and one of the PONYO sisters in the gel still immediately came off. Still came off. So now I'm trying them in water. I've got both these, and I'm going to throw in the boat because this hasn't been in hair gel. So if the hair, I mean, I rinsed them off really good, but if the hair gel is what is also going to additionally cause a problem in the water, then I want to know that. But maybe we just do water and like 2 layers of tape so that it's still like squishy pushy. Why not water? Why not water at this point, right? She is not perfect, but she's cute. Also, just ignore this whole top part. The Shrinky Dink bath is not going well. It's going... It's smear. That's a smear. Here's... What if I put them... Look at this. This one wasn't even in the stuff. Smear. What if I put them in glue? What if I put them in glue? What if I put them in clear glue? Will glue make this happen for me? I'm crashing out. I'm in a stage 3 of 5 crash out right now. I've now eaten most of a vegetarian pot pie. I did not make. Cost $3 whole. Is that not such a racket? Evil. Although, you know, I don't know how to make pie crust, so feeling less evil after my lunch break. I think I'm going to go to the store and purchase clear glue. I'm having a wildly difficult time Googling what will not dissolve Sharpie. Everything just keeps on saying, here's how you dissolve Sharpie, here's how you dissolve Sharpie. I don't want to dissolve the Sharpie. I want it to stay nice. I'm understanding how that's sort of a counterproductive Google. The horrible AI, whatever. Editing Felix here. I just want to be really clear and say I did not and would never use ChatGPT. What I did was I forgot to type -AI in a Google search. So when I say like the annoying AI thing that happens, it's like, you know, the Google, the like it does the AI on its own, terrible answer's never good. That's what I'm talking about. I hate AI. All my homies hate AI. AI sucks. Was like, water won't dissolve Sharpie. And like, it's smearing it though. It's smearing it. Is it because I'm using it on Shrinky Dink? My only hope is that because clear glue is literally like something you would presumably also use to seal Sharpie, that hopefully it will be fine. I don't know. And I'm coming to a point where I'm like, if it bleeds a little, whatever. What I think I'm gonna do, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I could put like a clear something on the actual art to like protect it. Although I could just make another one. Like it's not a huge deal. Anyway, I think I might go to the dollar store to get really, really cheap glue, but it's probably, I don't know. Maybe I'll go to the Fred Meyer. Can you hear my baby talking over there? Singing a song of his people. And I just keep thinking that if I was to make something in felt, like a felt ponyo, that could be suspended in this. And the color wouldn't leave, as far as I know. Maybe that's what I do next time, but you would not be able to get it as small. I'm crashing out. This is my 4th crash out over this project. I don't know. I haven't actually counted. Hey, sorry to scare you with the front-facing camera. I had a moment of crash out. A severe moment of crash out where I was like, glue, and then I'll just make, oh no. It's already doing it. I learned to make slime. You see how the slime is pink? The slime is pink because it's pulling the shit off of this. And I'm gonna flip my fucking lid. I'm gonna flip my fucking lid. Where did that boat go? So anyway, I learned how to make clear slime for this. Clear slime. Clear slime. It's not getting the color off of them so badly that it's horrible. It's just a little bit and whatever. What? I purchased the wrong kind of Ziploc bag. Whatever. They're gonna bleed a little bit. The color's gonna bleed a little bit, and everybody's gonna live. My potato chunks, and it'll be fine. And we'll all be fine. And here's my mostly clear slime in bag. Oh, for the love of Christ. And and it's fine. And it's fine. And I'm not even worried about it or irritated or gonna scream. I feel great. I feel wonderful and lovely and totally cool. And I understand why the slime is so foggy in places. Okay. Excellent. This is fine, and I feel good about it. Will this even function within Ziploc bag? Can you even squoosh things around in it? Is that possible? Oh my God. I'm gonna put some water in it. What's the worst that could happen? It's already happened. Whatever is the worst that could happen has already happened during this experience. This can't possibly make it any worse. How would it get any worse? This is maybe fixing it, actually. Yeah, hell yeah. Okay. And whatever. I think that's fine. Oh. Is it leaking through the container? Is it leaking through? Is it burning through the plastic? It is. What about it made that happen? It's burning through the plastic. It's eaten through the plastic. Is it safe for my hands? Why would it do that? What evil chemical reaction would cause that to happen? Or were those holes already in this bag? I don't even know. How would I even know that? Should we try it in Ziploc? Oh my God. It's just sort of wet. Would just glue be better? Would just glue be better? Glue and water. Just glue and water. It seems anything would be better than this. Ugh. And now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take water and the glue. And I'm gonna put water and the glue together in the Ziploc bag. That's what I'm gonna do. The glue and a little bit of water. And that's what I'll do. That's what'll be in the bag. Maybe not even. Maybe just the glue. Maybe just the glue. maybe just $6 fucking worth of glue. Maybe that's all you need. Maybe that's it. Let's try. Let's see. Let's discover what happens together. I'm having so much fun. Ponyo, 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 fishy in the sea. She's a little girl with a round tummy. Ponyo, 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 friend to you and me. Tiny little fishy, who could you really be? Laughing, laughing, and smiling. Happy, happy are we all. Oh, is it wet on the back already? Okay, let's pick them up, girls. Let's get going. Okay. Can you put it flat and squish it around? Can it be smushed? It does seem smushable. Okay, and I'll just tape the edges, make it a smaller space. Okay, and it's gonna be fine. Okay. Let's recap the disastrous clusterfuck that has led us to this moment, to this current moment. So, plan, vision for Ponyo, like sensory squeezy pushy around things toy. The energy of, you know, those little like things where you press the buttons on the bottom and they like go up into like something liquidy, something movie. Makes sense for Ponyo, right? Makes sense. With the background being something this-ish, right? From the beginning. Gonna be really cute. One of the baby's teachers brings to me a hair gel squeezy Ziploc situation, and I'm like, genius. I purchase hair gel. I try to do that. I make things with Shrinky Dinks. All of the stuff comes off of the shrink, like not all of it, but like the Shrinky Dinks start to bleed except for the black. And the black is definitely Sharpie marker. And I had used other weird art markers. Based on that, I assume that the problem is with the lack of Sharpie markers on the Shrinky Dink. Wrong. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's the submergedness of the something markers in some kind of liquid. Because we try also water still bleeds. It's a permanent marker, Randall. What do you mean it's still bleeding? Okay, but whatever. So then I'm like, clear glue, maybe just clear glue. Still bleeds in that. And then I'm like, what about if we turn the clear glue into slime? You can make clear slime. Certainly clear slime will be a more stable, I don't know, like something that's not able to take. Turns out you can get permanent marker off with everything. So jot that down. But not the black. I mean, the black does stay, but I don't want it to be like bleedy and like cloudy colors. That pisses me off. So here's where we're at. I have a Ziploc bag filled with roughly $4 worth of clear glue only. Honestly, the slime wasn't a good idea because it's too like substantial to shove around. It's like hard to move things within it because it's like too like tough. So I have bag. What I'm going to put inside of it is these bits and bobs. Sort of like watery, sequiny, sparkly, whatever. If these holographic stinking sequins bleed into this, then whatever, then the glue is a little bit blue. That's fine. I just don't want it to be a little bit reddish pinkish because that's not the vibe because we're underwater. I am functionally a crafting hoarder. So I had this chunk of plastic that I've cut to be the right size for this, to protect this really cute thing that I made that maybe someday my baby would want to put on his wall, or we could put on our wall or put in the bath. I don't know. I'm emotionally attached to it because I made it and it turned out a lot cuter than I thought. Plastic layer to keep the goop off of it. And also okay, so here's the layers. This thing, goop. In between goop and this flat plastic, that's where the Ponyos will go. Will they actually be able to slide around on here? I don't know. If the plastic wasn't there also, then they would just immediately scrape this up, so that would not work anyway. And there's also cardboard on the back, like heavy duty cardboard. What I need to do now is put these things in the glue, tape the glue really good, connect this clear front to this little art thingy in such a way that won't destroy it, wipe all the fingerprints that I just got on this off of it, and then make a frame also. We'll see how that goes. This was not my dream, okay? But I can work with this. You know, it's not perfect. I do think it's okay. I ended up coating my Ziploc bag in packing tape on either side, you probably saw in the time lapse, so that I could squeeze these around and not be worried about it breaking. There's also a little bit of space, so like these guys can get shaken around a little bit. I like that the strings are in here. I think this is fine. Not perfect, but fine. And now I've decided that the frame of it needs to be sewn on a machine because that would just be like way cuter. And so now that's what I'm gonna do. These are just colors that make me think of the waves at like the beginning part. So and I'm gonna be mostly hot gluing, so like they don't need to be super gorgeous, secure, incredibly whatever. I'm just trying to get them crisp looking. Not even like going twice over the edges or anything because I'm gonna cut these, so really doesn't matter. I'm gonna do different colors, even though that's kind of insane. If I had all of the time in the world and was feeling incredibly bougie, I would put like PONYO and letters on one of these. And that would look way cuter, but I'm not doing that because I don't want to. I'm doing 4 different colors because that's how I think of the waves is as being like different colors of blue and minty colors, and then also because I just didn't have enough of like one color to do this, so. Oops. I got this weird, insane, expensive interfacing. I got it from the craft warehouse it was on sale. I've been using it for busy book stuff. I don't even know like what it's originally intended for, so sorry to whoever uses this as a craft product regularly, and I'm just like doing horrific, insane, unhinged things with it. But just trying to get, is this orientation right? No, must not be. Is that right? I just want to make sure because sometimes like the hot glue is so hot that it like bleeds through, and I didn't want to see the cardboard underneath this. So doing this first. I don't care about this. That's fine. I see that it's there. I'm not worried about it. If you're worried about it, I'm sorry for that you have to see this, but I'm not worried about it. God. I've lived too many craft failure lives today to be worried about that. You know what I mean? Like that, we're past it, you know? I'll ice it with my premium seltzer, orange vanilla polar. That's not an ad, but wouldn't have been great if it was. Polar, call me. LaCroix, I'm not picky. Great, okay, yeah, great. Great. Get it attached to the back. I'm gonna do like an inside out thing for this, is what I'm gonna do. Like, why wouldn't we start, you know? Here. I do think it's fun that also if you just do it up and down, they scoosh around. Like, I didn't think it was going to be, can you see that? The string is moving. We got this big old bubble in here. I think there's enough interesting stuff to do with this that it's worth me burning my hand a couple times. Okay. I think I need to cut this down and then do more gluing, and then glue more. Far over here, and that's okay. And this one also kind of, well, maybe once it's glued down, it'll be sort of more, because this is like the bending. No, we'll cut it down a little. We'll cut it down a little. Gluing, holding, letting the gun be hot. I don't trust myself to do this left-handed. That would be bad. Okay, and now. All right, I think my vision now is to glue these to the edges. I guess really like this top one's the one we gotta be most sort of cautious with because it's got the thingy. And then glue it down. I think that'll be fine. That's looking like it's gonna be okay to me. Let's see. I'll also say, if you're doing this not on a quick time crunch where you are trying to get a YouTube video out the next 2 days, but your wife has to work tomorrow, you wouldn't have to use hot glue. You could certainly use a more temperature safe glue. A lukewarm glue, if you will, would do just fine. Okay. It is not perfect. It is not the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It is not what I envisioned. Ponyo's upside down. Girl, please work with me for the love of God for once in your life. Oh, okay. Anyway, my baby, he's gonna be into it. Sometimes this is what you get. It's not awful. It's fine. Let's see what the baby thinks. I know. Yeah, okay, we're looking for Mowgli.
Yeah, he really wants to watch Mowgli.
Okay.
Who is that?
What do you think?
I'm glad he's in his fancy outfit.
Yeah. Yeah, Ponyo. Oh, is it squishy? Yeah. What do you think? I know, is it squeezy and squishy? I'm calling that a success. Whoa, cool, huh? You see the strings in there? That's it. Ponyo squishy thingy. I made this with the intention that he can sit in the car and like hold it and do stuff with it. We are trying really hard not to be a small screens family or doesn't know what an iPad is. He thinks that phones are just like for talking on and saying hello or for FaceTiming his family members. If he picks up a phone, he just like hands it to us. He doesn't like try to go through it, which rocks. And I don't care what you're doing in your family as long as your kid is like fed and happy and like doing okay. But yeah, so this is a car toy. So I'm gonna probably take it away from him, not away, just put it away when he's not looking, and then bring it back out later this month when we are driving down to California, and that'll be perfect for that. Because of the nature of this toy being like a toddler is stuck in a position and can't move anywhere, so this is something they're playing with. It's not something that has so far like held his attention for a very long time. I only know my toddler. I don't like I haven't spent a lot of time with this age group, so I don't know if that's like normal or if it's something that like this is a craft that would be worth it for you to take on if you're a person who has a kid who's constantly sprinting around but maybe has a level of focus where they'll like sit and do something squishy for a period of time. I don't know. You know your kid, you know? I would say if you're looking for something quick and easy, don't do this. If you wanted like kind of like a vibey or easier version of this, Ziploc bag, hair gel, cheapest hair gel that you can find. I would try to find one without fragrance because the one I have is so aggressively smelly. And then just like weird old buttons, like anything, and then duct tape it or packing tape it up and maybe even leave it loose just so they can squish it around, not just on a flat surface. But that would be like a very low effort, similar activity that they could do. My kid right now is really into, he'll like pour out drips of water and then he'll like make the water go places with his finger. So that is another like reason why I thought that this could be a successful toy for him, particularly with the little like strings. I chopped up a couple pieces of embroidery floss, pulled them apart, and then stuck them in there, so that's cool. Yeah, and if it's relevant, my kid is almost 21 months, 22 months-ish. Yeah, and I don't know, I am very curious when we eventually have a second kid to see kind of like what things that kid is into at this age, because I really just think kids are like so different. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed. It really wasn't like so bad, you know? I think it also kind of sometimes helps when something is so deeply frustrating to be like, here's my Muppet energy that I'm gonna bring to the table because it's like, it doesn't really matter. This is not a life or death situation for anybody. It's just driving me bonkers. So yeah, the whole time I was making this, I was like, I know there is gonna be one person in the comments who is like, oh, if you had just done this, it would have fixed it and it would have been easy. If you're that person, please leave that comment. Tell me what it would have been, because I could not for the life of me. It took me so much brain energy to just figure out, even like put the gel layer in front of the Shrinky Dinks to keep the Shrinky Dinks safe. And even before that, I was like, I'll just glue them down. And then I was like, oh no, like they can like move in the air behind it. Like that's fine. But anyway, I know there's something that I'm missing. And my other thought that I had that I didn't do in this was like clear nail polish might have been like the vibe to make it water resistant, but even so, like I didn't feel comfortable with glue or with gel or whatever else if it was not gonna be water. And even with water, like you're not supposed to have your like nails submerged in water for that long. I don't know. Resin, I guess. I don't have resin. That's like one of the few things that I don't have, or that between me and my mom with ADHD, we don't have. Yes. And then the other thing, my failure, my silly thing that I did is I used just the plain clear glue when I could have used the hair gel in the Ziploc bag, because it wasn't gonna be anything that could be like eaten away at. And even so, like the glue ate away at the Sharpie marker, so that was kind of like whatever. But just, it would have been cheaper to use the hair gel. Although, like I did like the amount that the stuff moved in the glue. Like the glue is a little bit more liquidy. I know there's a good word for that. Viscous, less viscous. There was more movement with the glue. The hair gel, not quite as much. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. I hope that your kid craft things go easier and vibier than this. Would y'all be interested in a video that's like easy stuff that I set up for my toddler to play with? Is that the kind of thing you'd be into? I don't feel like we do anything that's like really super overly creative or cool, but like sensory bin with like dry rice and beans and stuff, he's super into. That'll keep him occupied for like a solid 45 minutes with like different like cups and scoops and stuff to like pour stuff out and do. Anyway, if that's the kind of thing, if that's a video that you would like cheap kids stuff, like activities that are, you know, not something that's gonna take you 8 hours and yanking out hairs, yeah, let me know. Okay, enjoy the bloopers. Thank you so much. Mwah.
I'm so sorry. I have to poop.
Yeah. Hold on. God. Should've known with the high time peak gun. Should've known better. Ponyo, I swear to God, Ponyo.